My name is Belinda Harrow, and I have an exhibition called Unsettled, which will be on display at the Estevan Art Gallery from February the 4th to March 25th, 2022. I have shown twice before in Estevan, so it's really exciting for me to be able to show this work now, which brings together 3 different media, which was made over about a 6-year period. There's 7 paintings. They have feature coyotes, rabbits, geese, and pelicans, which are sort of core animals that you see often in the Regina area. And then I have a number of sculptures. I think there is 13 pieces, 5 rabbits and the rest are gophers. They're all life-size, and they're cast out of a material called hydrocal, which is like a very fine cement. And then the third element are these drawings that are on sort of paper which is made out of kind of crushed stone. It's very smooth and opaque, and the drawings gave me an opportunity to feature a lot of the locations that will be very familiar to people who've been to Regina. The suburbs, City Hall. There's a number of works in the exhibition that features the Legislative Building, which is kind of like one of the core architectural buildings in the city, as well as Wascana Park. In Unsettled, I'm telling a very personal story, really. I'm talking about my own exact experience of what it's been like over the 10 years since I moved to Regina, and how long it's taken me to feel kind of connected to this place, to recognize, that I'm really privileged to be able to come here, and to recognize that being here is impacting the animals that live in this space, but also the people who've lived in this space. So when you look closely at the animals that you share a space with, you see how they're adapting to, the humans that are around them. All of the rabbits that are in the Wascana Park system in Regina, and how they move. There's sort of a corridor where animals can move through the city, and they come into the city spaces, the urban spaces, because there's a little bit, I think, they're protected from some of the predators that are outside the city limits. That makes me think about my own role, about us as humans, and how we share that space, and is it a safe space that we live in this urban space with each other, how we get along, how we find that balance. So the paintings, the drawings, and the sculptures are all kind of coming together to tell that story about that kind of unsettled feeling that we have as we try to kind of coexist in this small space in Regina, in a very specific location that's specific to my own kind of settler experience. Like I said, these are made out of cement, and they're cast, but they look very, very soft. You can see they have kind of a pillowy look to them. And if you look close, when you go to see the exhibition in person, you'll see all the stitching lines. And how I create these is I take fabric, sheeting fabric that has a really tight cotton weave, and I do a drawing in 2 directions, one facing one way and one the other. And I discovered doing these that the sooner I cast after the drawing is done, the stronger the transfer will be. I take these and very carefully line them up and sew them together so that they mirror each other, just like a pillow. And I leave the bottom open. And then I mix the plaster together, the hydrocal, which is like a very fine cement, looks like plaster, same technique, and pour the liquid into this little pillow. And then I usually leave it overnight, and then I actually tear the fabric right off. So you can see, it's a pretty physical process. I just unstitch it, rip it right off, and then the drawing, which is charcoal, kind of embeds into the first sort of millimeter or so in the surface of the piece. And then with the rabbits, you can see they start to get a lot bigger. They're definitely more difficult. This is a sleeping rabbit that is part of the exhibition. This one here is Leopold, and I've named all the rabbits after the different streets in Regina. And this one has a drawing of the legislative building on the back. And as it casts, depending on the silhouette shape of the animal, becomes slightly abstracted, which I really like. Again, I'd like to thank the team at the Estevan Art Gallery Museum for their hard work in putting the exhibition together. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my work, and I hope that the community in Estevan really enjoy viewing it and seeing what I've been doing for the last 6 years since I showed last. And of course, thank the funders, the City of Estevan, the Canada Council, the Sask Arts for funding the arts so that, as an artist, I get this opportunity to share my work.